Welcome to Stratnewsglobal. I'm Surya Gangadharan. We're going to do a quick dive into a major maritime disaster that happened in the US state of Maryland near Baltimore, where a container vessel, the Dali, rammed into a bridge, the Francis Scott Key Bridge, precipitating the collapse of the entire bridge into the Patapasco River. So this is bizarre, but we're going to go for more details to our resident naval expert and maritime expert, Capt DK Sharma, former naval spokesperson, and a lot of things else. Captain Sharma, how do you explain this? It's bizarre, isn't it?
Well, Surya, not a very, nice topic to talk on. But yes, disasters do happen, and this is one. And let me tell you, they do not happen far and few you will hear of an accident like this.
Yeah.
Groundings, yes. Running into shoals, yes. But not that a ship which is going in and out of harbors very frequently. This is a container ship.
Yeah.
Mind you, it is not going into anchorage outside and then, the cargo is being shifted. They are trained. The master was there, the pilots are there, and we will talk about it. Yes, it is a disaster. Yes, a lot of investigation will have to go into it to find out whether it is a human error or a machinery failure or something else has happened, or it is a combination of both. So there will be many things which will be looked into very intricately. But yes, here prima facie it seems that there is a kind of some mechanical failure somewhere. So whether it is with engines, whether it is with the steering gear, or whether there is a mismatch between what orders have been given by the pilot and what has been executed by the quartermaster or the man who is at the wheel, who's steering there. And number two, it's a 300-meter long ship, 1 lakh tonner, which is equivalent to the size of a US supercarrier. Fully loaded, you can see the containers on top. Now, once this ship gathers momentum, mass into velocity, you can see that how difficult it is that if something goes wrong, to control that. Even if to check the speed, like in the warships, we have a facility where we can go from full ahead to full astern. That means you can, like in a running car, you have to come to zero to put the reverse gear. But in ships, we have a facility where from you can order full astern so that it can check the speed. But with this kind of mass and velocity, it is just not possible. But yes, they had turned around. I saw the video. The ship has taken off from the berth. It has, started moving. It is moving on its track. And suddenly you find that when it is closing the bridge, the St. Francis Bridge, something has gone wrong and it has hit the pier, one of the pillars. And if you see the pics now, which are coming out, that the ship is still stuck there, which means that one part of the bridge is anchored to the ship and the other is resting at the seabed or the riverbed. So now see the problem and the blowing away of the pillar on which this whole bridge was resting, and because it is a kind of a continuous bridge, the whole bridge has collapsed.
So when you had, I understand from the reports I've read, the captain was on board, there were 2 pilots on board, and since it was coming out of anchorage.
No, it is coming from a berth.
It is coming from a berth. Obviously, there would have been tugs also to guide the ship through restricted water. Is that correct?
So, actually, Surya, insofar as tugs is concerned, that is, I think, mandatory in restricted waters like Suez Canal.
Okay.
Because there is no room for any mistake. But here, the pilots were there. And now if you see that who was responsible, let's be very clear, the master is responsible. The ultimate responsibility of the conduct of vessel shall at all times remain with the master.
So that is the captain of the ship.
That is the captain of the ship, but there is a understanding that whatever orders the pilots are giving to the quartermaster or to the engineer, that what orders to follow, there is an implicit, there is a kind of understanding that whatever the pilot is saying is being relayed by the captain. So it is not repeated twice. Because captain is there on the bridge, he is watching everything. 2 pilots are there because the beam of the ship is 48 meters. 48 meters is almost You can well imagine 50 meters across from one side of the ship to the other side and 300 meters like this. So it's a massive thing, and these people are, by the way, they are not rookies. They are conducting ships day in and day out. So what has gone wrong? Whether it is I said in my opening statement also, whether it is a human error or whether it is the machinery failure or something else or a combination of both.
No, the accident happened early in the morning. We see from the reports there was low visibility. Temperatures were -1 degree Celsius. Does that affect the, how does the master, does he have a clear vision? Do you use lights? Do you have radar? What do you do?
Well, this all must have been, like if you're saying that the temperature is so-and-so, the visibility is so-and-so, the port control knows it. So all these decisions have been cleared by the authorities. That the conductor,
they're fully informed.
Everybody is in the loop. Now we have to see what happened. It is not that the ship, started hitting soon after leaving the berth. It has gone. It has traversed quite a distance, and then when it was on the final track towards, under the bridge, it has gone wrong. So whether it is, and by the way, all these blind pilotage and all, I don't know whether in the merchant vessels they do follow, but they have the latest gadgets. They have a position fixing system within 1 meter. 1 meter of the actual position of the ship. They have that kind of gadgets available. Automatization is at such a level that things do not go wrong, and also redundancy is available on board. But now what has happened, what has gone wrong is far too, it'll be preposterous for us to talk about it, that this has gone wrong and this has happened. Let's wait for the reports coming out, but this is a kind of a disaster which is unheard of.
The ship hasn't sunk. There's a lot of diesel fuel on the river, and which would suggest that the fuel tanks have ruptured.
No, nothing. I don't see it happen unless one of the girders which has fallen now has hit the ship, or because I told you that as per the photographs, one of the big part of the bridge is anchored on the ship, and it is touching the seabed. So the ship is there. Now it is touching the kind of the debris which has fallen down. Something is hit, something is punctured. That is for the people, the port authorities to now do the investigations. The divers will come and see and plug the holes wherever they are. But yes, this is all there and this is coming out.
So last question, and I want to, this is a question I've asked before and you've answered. I want you to say it again. The captain of the ship was an Indian, incidentally. I understand even the first mate and the chief engineer are Indians.
4 of the people, the owner,
including the owner.
The ship, of course, is a Singapore flagship, but the master, the chief engineer, and one more.
So all these 4 people are complicit?
Nobody will be absolved of their responsibilities, but insofar as the conduct of the ship is concerned, the master is responsible. And if the master is responsible, then what happened? What happened? The pilots were there, so did they give a wrong order, which he should have, corrected? Or that is what I told you initially, that there is an understanding. And it is not that it is happening for the very first time. The ship has come in also safely. The ship was going from here to Colombo.
So if an inquiry finds them guilty of negligence or whatever, what is the maximum penalty they could?
Sir, they will lose their licenses first of all, the tickets.
Okay.
They will never be able to sail again.
The careers are finished.
The careers are finished. But I don't think that much it will go that side, because the conduct of the ship or the track which we both saw, it's quite, looking okay, and something has happened at the last moment. And since the momentum of the speed will not be much. It would have been 4 or 5 knots, but you multiply that 4 or 5 knots into 1 lakh tons. So that is the kind of force with which the ship is moving, the momentum. And to check the speed, it takes time. There are reaction times in these situations which are very, very slow in merchant vessels.
Captain Sharma, thank you for that. That's all we have for you right now. Details are still coming in, and we'll have more perhaps early morning when we'll have a full sense from Maryland as to the extent of the disaster that has taken place. Thank you very much. You're watching the Stratnewsglobal.